Well, I think I know where all the antifreeze is leaking from. I didn't even tighten that.
The front three look clean.
Alright, so I've had a lot of help today. I had to leave at noon, go to a dance recital. So we've discovered that this rod right here, number 3, and that's what I thought it was from the sound, that's banging around pretty bad. So anyway, got everything laying on a pallet. We're going to get the fuel system off, and at this point I think we can go ahead and put it in the shop and finish tearing it down. Manifold's toast. It's cracked all over here through the center section, so that's got to get replaced. Anyway, I'll just have to haul all this stuff in the shop out of the weather. And the turbo is shot. I mean shot. That shaft moves up and down a mile and it's rubbing. So that's junk. She's been used pretty hard. Got junk in the cooler. She's had a rough life. Anyway, got quite a bit of her stripped off.
Ruined my day. I seen the one picture of Bruce Mallison where he was setting valves on a Cummins and the thing was laying on its side in a bus. Oh, yeah. How the hell does that work?
So here's my help, Ron. He's been helping me on the Cat, take it apart. So he's headed down to the Komatsu dealer to haul a 740 to Spokane. See you, Ron. Okay, been doing some serious cleaning. I still got my paint booth to get out of here. Cleaned this area all up. If you remember seeing it was just full of junk. Took a lot of stuff out from under the bench I don't use, put it in the van trailer, cleaned out from underneath, mopped the floor, took the rug that was here out and steam cleaned it off. So at this point, I think I'm ready to come in with that engine and get it tore down. I am pooped. I spent all day yesterday cleaning and hauling stuff out. So, there it is. I think she's ready to go inside. So, I gotta get the service truck out of the way. And then get the forklift and pick up these pallets, move them. And then I think because I've got everything off the top now, I can go ahead and use a short chain to hook up to this and pick it up with the crane, be able to raise the door all the way up. We had fun getting the manifold bolts off. Some of them came out, the studs. A couple of them twisted off. That one twisted off. That one twisted off. So it's always fun trying to get those out. One of the most important things you want to do with something like this is And this is the way I do it, is I run a tap through the holes and clean them up really good, and then I put anti-seize inside the hole on the stud, screw it in with my fingers, screw it down to the bottom, and then when I put it together I don't put any anti-seize on the nut. That way when you go to take these out, they'll come out of the head real easy. Whole stud comes out. It's easy to get the manifold off, and you don't have to deal with broke off bolts and messed up threads. You're asking what's wrong in here. Well, hang on to your butts. I'm going to show you here later. All right, we're hooked up. I just put some clamps to hold the engine hoist so as we go it stays with me. So I'm going to pick it up and see how she lays, how it works. All right, somebody wanted to know if I got the cable problem solved. And no, I don't. It's still trying to slip, but the biggest one is the boom cylinder. It leaks down pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get it around here where it'll stay, but the hoist brake works a lot better since it sat out all winter and got rusted. I'm kind of wondering if a guy took the brake drum off and sandblasted it so it had a good surface to get a hold of. Plus I'm thinking about taking the, well, I'm not thinking, I'm gonna take that other crane and put another shiv in there, and I'm thinking that would reduce the line pull significantly. It'd slow the crane down, but who cares? So I got the water pump pulley off. That was pretty easy. The shaft is shot, so I'm gonna have to be making a call to Brian Block. Calling Brian Block. But it's kind of funny. Whoever put this together, there was no lock washers on these bolts. There's no lock washers on these plates. None on the cooler. Memo to the mechanics. Lock washers are required, but you can't lift anything by hand. You gotta have a hoist. It's all too big. I think I might be able to get these off, but I've been banging with a hammer. I can't get them to pop loose. Ow, don't do that. So check this out. Check the sludge in there. They must never change the oil in this thing. It's pretty bad. So I'm going to take the rocker arms off. Just got to undo these oil lines. Hope you can't hear the AC/DC playing on the radio, or they'll demonetize me. I bet you can. I bet YouTube can hear it unless I talk over it. So I've got the cooler off, got the block side plates off, and I was trying to take off this pulley, but I can't find a 3-jaw puller that's going to work. And I found this down in the hangar, airplane hangar, old piece of crap with threads stripped, but these jaws will not go in the hole. So I need a 1-pawl 2321. If somebody's got one of those in their back pocket, I need a 1-pawl 2321. Blackfoot, Idaho doesn't have squat for tools. The Napa didn't have anything that would work. So my only choice is to go to Idaho Falls or Pocatello and go to Hobo Freight or somewhere. I don't know where a guy could get tools like that. Or I got to call the Snap-on man, strap-on. Call the Snap-on and get your strap-on. 40 more payments and it's mine. I can get it from the dealer. It's in Spokane. It's $220. But if I measure the holes and then go shopping and I find something that'll work, then hey, great. So I got to get these nuts off, undo these, and then I can lift that assembly off of there. I might have to put this on time lapse so they can't hear the AC/DC. Alright, so I got the valve train off, and it just looks to me like they didn't change the oil regular. Just look at the crap on the springs. Makes me almost wonder if the oil passages in some of these are plugged up. Because you got some that are wet, and then some that look like they haven't seen oil in years. So the guides are wore out, that's for sure. So I'm gonna have to disassemble the rocker arms and go through them, probably bushings, and make sure there isn't some debris caught in the passageways. So all D9 valve defenses are set up for decompression levers. So this plug here, a rod goes through, there's a seal on this end, comes out, and there's a coupler here to run the other one. So when you apply the decompression lever, let's see, it opens the intake valves. It doesn't open the exhaust, it opens the intake. And the only reason that I can think that they did that was because the manifolds on engines with pony motors, the exhaust ran a tube inside the intake manifold and back out the other end. So right here is where the pipe would go in, and it'd make a big U and come back. And so your pony motor exhaust was like a preheater for the intake air. And where you've got the intake valves open, all you're going to do is push air back and forth that manifold to each cylinder, warm it up, I guess. I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. I don't really know for sure. So I'll just keep going. We'll just keep going. Get this thing apart. All right, I am taking the converter off. It's not coming loose at the bottom. That ain't good. That ain't good. Got a guy in Texas, got some D9H's. He kept losing water pumps, doing the same thing mine was, pilling up that bearing. So this is for you, sir. I was gonna send you a picture, but I can't seem to find your number again. So there's the oil hole right there. They've got it on the thrust side, and your oil inlet comes in clear up here, goes around the bearing. Bearing's really in pretty good shape. And so is the shaft, except for that horrible groove it wore in it. The only cure for this is to build a shaft out of harder material. So like I said, I got to get with Brian and see if he can finish that one he started for me. Converter keeps pissing on the floor. Good thing I bought a roll of pig mat. So got the fuel pump off, cam gear and I had to remove the fuel pump gear. Anyway, making progress. One of the things I noticed with this motor, let me show you this. So it's been ingesting antifreeze through the aftercooler. Now, it could be a leak in the core. Look at that. That's just horrible. Looks like dirt too. Dirt and antifreeze, something. So on the aftercooler on these, you can get a leak through the core, or these adapters that go in there have O-rings on them, and they go over the, in order to get that cooler in, you put it in, and then those adapters go over it and they have O-rings in there, and it could be going through those, but once we get it apart, we'll see where the red's coming from. So number 4 liner has an O-ring sticking up, the last O-ring on the liner. And we're also seeing some antifreeze in the pan. We don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if it's been siphoning out of there from that rag and running in. But Jake showed me there's a clean spot, like something's been dripping. So I'm sure that's what's ruined the bearings. So I'll go ahead and give away the cause of the disaster, show you. So number 3 and 4 are bad, but number 3 is the worst. So let me turn the cranky shaft around here so you can see it. All right, so here we go. This is number 3. It's gonzo. And number 4 is on its way out. See that? How loose that is? And the bolt on number 1, the head's turned 90 degrees incorrect. So somebody made a slight boo-boo there. So I had somebody comment that good luck finding parts. Pistons and sleeves are no problem whatsoever. So what am I going to use here? So I'll buy cat gaskets. Absolutely cat gaskets. We'll go with Cleveite Mahali pistons and sleeves. See if we can get the bearings from them. I don't know if they make these bearings. There's a lot of these style bearings all over in here. Cam bearings. Anyway, I really haven't had much problem getting parts. Other than those bushings for that old-timey governor on the G. These governors here are just like what's on the scraper. You can buy parts for those. I had the Hotsy guy here today. I was helping him for quite a while. So the problem with the Hotsy was that I didn't have the electrodes close enough to the nozzle. And he got them over there, and I had a 2.75 gallon per, hour or minute, a nozzle, and he had a 2.5, so I put a 2.5 in it. And what else? Oh, he put me a quick coupler on the gun here. That's awesome. And did some replumbing here. I had to have a new unloader. They just don't build them like they used to. They don't last very long. Anyway, works fine. Works really good. Hey, I got a good one. In the comments below, I want you to leave what you think I should name this dozer. Because Killdozer's the other one. So I got so many dozers now I need to name them. So in the comments, leave me a name for the dozer. That ought to be fun. Oh, excuse me. This shit. Alright, heads off. Look at the broken pistons. That's overfueling. Be interesting to see if those are cat pistons. Dang, head gasket looks really good though, doesn't it? You're getting dirt in it, Jake.
Oh no.
Well, spacer plates look good too, don't they? Wow. Right here.
Told you. I told you.
They're hiding under there, weren't they?
Well, where's the other one though?
There's one here. God, there's
One here.
That's it. Well, you got a dowel.
Yeah, but you think they'd put one over on this other side?
Let me get a bolt. See if we can get it off. There's 9/16 laying there on that, yeah, behind you. A wrench there behind you is under the impact. I borrow your wrench. See what this one does. Oh yeah. Except it ain't got one in the middle. I mean, in here. Huh.
That's good.
Oh, you broke the shim.
Oh no.
The spacer plates look really clean. That's amazing. Amazing, Jake. Got a good deck.
I mean, where your underwater directors are, it's rusty and stuff, but the rest of it looks
Pretty.
Hopefully it looks good underneath the liner too.
Yeah, baby. Got something, what's that? Is that black?
I
Or
don't know, they're kind of discolored.
around this side? That's a big deck. I got a big deck. You got a big deck? Mr. Griffey's in the house. He's come out to see old Jeff. He says boring in the house with Mama. You gotta come out here and help Jeff work on the D9 bracket stuff. Huh? Yeah. So, just had a really good conversation with a guy in San Bernardino, California that worked on these forever. Started out in the 70s, and his name is Dwayne Shaw. And he gave me a bunch of tips and stuff. He's the one that made the comment about pulling the injection pump out. There's an easier way. It don't show that easier way in the book, though, doggone it. But I guess after you work on these a lot, you learn a thing or two. So, I'm really impressed at this. I mean, it's amazing. It's got shims under the liners. This is the bad hole. You can see the shiny aluminum. That's where it was hitting the head. But these cracks in the pistons, man, those are bad. Bad. Anyway, I just stuck a screwdriver under the end of the cam here. Got lots of slop. So it'll definitely need cam bearings. What? I'm busy talking here, bud. He thinks I'm going to start it. Or should we start it? We're going to start it? Gee. Bum, bum. He says, don't mess with me, Jeff. Start it up. This one don't run, Mr. Griff. I know, but it don't run. It don't run. Bark at it. You gonna bark? Bark at it. Rawr, rawr, rawr. I can't fool him. I lost my train of thought now. It don't matter. So I'm having trouble with these back bolts, head bolts on this hold down, and the only thing we can figure is because they're open here, the crap gets down in there, so these bolts are seized in the hole. So I've been spraying it with some penetrating oil, and the 1-inch drive electric Ingersoll won't touch it. Now Jake said this was moving back and forth about a 1/16, but I'm afraid about twisting it off, because you twist it off, you're not getting the head off if the bolts are stuck in there. So I think I'm just gonna have to keep spraying them until they start to move and come out. I don't know what else to do. Dwayne said I could heat it back here, see if that helps, but I hate putting a torch on a piece of cast iron. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Anyway, I just got to get that head off and the pan off and the oil pump out, and then I can set it on the table and get the rear housing off and the front one off, and then we can pull the crank out. Pull the pistons and I can get the crank out. So I still got a lot to do. Old Jack got a lot to do. This is the head gasket. This is very impressive. And, you know, boy, that's in really good shape. And the spacer plate looks like I don't know if those were new or they bead blasted them, but man, those are in good shape. Can you imagine what those cost if you had to buy new ones? So I'll turn off the camera and get back to work, or go in the house and make a video. What do you think? Good Friday morning, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're going to enjoy the series. My body's not enjoying it. It's Friday morning. I doubt I'm going to do much on this today. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'm taking the Challenger out to the Chalice Car Show. Me and Mrs. Paydirt and Mr. Griffey. I still haven't got those rear 2 head bolts out. I just keep spraying it constantly with some penetrating oil. Hopefully it'll come loose. Anyway, somebody wanted to know how many cubes this engine was. This is a 1472 cubic inch motor. It's a 6 1/4 bore by 8-inch stroke. Full load, no fan, it runs 1500 RPM. With the fan and the converter, it's like 1440, 1460. Under full load, 1375 and about 1050 at converter stall. So with no fan and converter, they're about 440 horse. That was what was on the tag from Wagner Cat. With the converter and fan, they're like 410, 415. Don't know the torque on them. Cat back in the day built low horsepower, high torque engines, and they did that with these monsters. You got an 8-inch stroke, you make a lot of torque, and by the time you go through a converter, a transmission, rear end, and then final drive planetaries, you reduce that. I can't imagine what the torque coming out those final drives are. It's got to be horrendous. Anyway, they built these low horsepower, slow turning, high torque engines, and they just lasted forever. I mean, the engineering is absolutely amazing at how they built these and how heavy duty they are. Simplot down in Pocatello, or it was FMC, had one. And I was talking to some mechanics at my cat dealer years ago, and they said this thing had 20,000 hours on it and was still running, but they decided to bring it in and have them tear it down and just to have a look at it. Anyway, I guess it was really in pretty good shape. But with good maintenance, they'll go your lifetime between overhauls. Just absolutely incredible. On a side note, I had a guy comment, he's in Australia, he's got a D9, and he put a switchblade on it in 2018, and his fuel consumption went from 85 liters an hour down to 70. He has extended his oil drain intervals to 400 hours now. The recommended oil change intervals on these was always 250 hours because these old pre-cup engines are kind of dirty. Anyway, my turbo's shot, so guess what kind of turbo I'm going to put on this? I think you can guess. Anyway, I got to get going, so stick with me. I hope you don't get fatigue over this, but this is going to be a big job, a really big job, so pray for me. You guys have an awesome day. Enjoy the video.